All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Angelique Alexander. Um, I've been doing this for a little bit. Story behind this is that I was practicing in my apartment in early 2020, in April of 2020, and I got some very nasty letters from the landlord saying that if I continued to sing, that I would be kicked out of my apartment. I would be evicted. And so I went to New York. I stayed with my sister, and I sang a lot there and kind of got in the habit of it. And when I got home back to Oakland, I was terrified that I was going to get evicted for practicing. And one of my really good friends, who is not here, shockingly, he'll be late. One of my good friends said, "Hey, why don't you come with me? You can practice at my place." And then it got late, and he was like, "Actually, how about we go to the Rose Garden?" Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil right now. And so I ended up here, and I am very fortunate to have so many wonderful people that are supporting me, friends from the Alley, which is a wonderful bar up the street, friends from Martuni's, which is a wonderful bar across the bridge, and friends from work and friends from life and friends from here who have come and returned. So thank you all for being here and supporting me, and thank you to my family who's watching at home. Just thanks to everybody. I feel so supported, and this is our third season and third concert of this season. And the theme for today is a survey of opera history. So we will be going through, this one's going to be a little more educational than the last two. This one is going to focus on the history of opera, covering from 1689 all the way through 1996. So lots of music, 4 different centuries of music, all different styles, over 5 languages represented. I'm across an ocean, so I'm very excited to get started. All right, this first tune, this first song, is it's from Dido and Aeneas. It was written in 1689. It is the earliest of our program. It is written in the Baroque style, and this is Dido's Lament, written by Henry Purcell. And as I said, it's the earliest of our program. And this music is just stunning, hauntingly beautiful. Dido is a queen from Carthage. I don't know. What? Carthage, there we go, Carthage. She's the Carthage queen. Thank you for help. This is a team effort. So she's the queen of Carthage, and her lover Aeneas is leaving her and is leaving to go across the sea and find the great empire of Greece, I think, yeah. And so he's leaving her behind, and she's absolutely devastated. And at the very end of the opera, she says that she's going to commit suicide, basically, like she's gonna perish. And so this is her farewell to everyone. And I hope you all enjoy this. And it's really beautiful and very early music. So it'll have a lot of the foundations that we're going to go into in the later music. And if you would like a translation or a copy of the program, Rachel Howard has translations, since I will be singing in so many different styles and whatnot. So thank you all, and I hope you enjoy this.
Or I would
forget my fate. Remember my love. Forget my fate. Remember me. Remember me, but forget my fate. Thank you. So my name is Angelique, again, for those of you who just came in. If you would like a copy of the translation, since not all the songs will be in English, only a handful of them will be in English, but a lot of languages that we're going to cover today and a lot of styles and periods of time, feel free to grab a copy. Rachel has translations. Just flag her over and she'll bring you one. And let's keep going on our journey here. All right. So we skipped a while because the Baroque period of music lasted quite a long time in music history. And so it lasted up until like the 1770s-ish or something. It was going on for quite a while there. So I didn't want to put too many of the same style. We're going to skip ahead to 1787 with Mozart. And Mozart is a classical composer. Coming out of the Baroque period, you'll hear elements of like that kind of he doesn't take a lot of risks yet. Like music it's definitely riskier than the Baroque music, but it's not quite where we're gonna go with music yet. And so this classical style is really exciting, and Mozart, this is one of my favorite songs. It's one of the only art songs he ever wrote. It's in German, and it's called Als Luisa die Briefe ihres ungetreuen Liebhabers verbrannte, which is almost as long as the song itself, that title. It's a very short song, and it means, the translation of that title is the day that Als Luisa burned the letters from her betrayed lover. So very intense song. She talks about how he's written these letters, and he sung this beautiful stuff, but not for her alone. And so she's taking these letters and she's tearing them and she throws them back into the flames. Let you die and perish in the flames from which you came. And she says, oh, but I wish that I could get rid of him in my heart. And so if you, I'll want to follow along with a more direct translation of this. The bold underneath the German is where you will find that. In all the songs, the bold English is where the English translation is for everything. So you will see that, and you can follow along if you'd like. And I hope you enjoy this one. There we go. konnte sie in eine schwärmerischen Stunde zur Welt gebrachte. Geht zugrunde, ihr Kind der Melancholie. Ihr danke Flammen, euer Sein, ich geb euch nun den Flammen wieder unter die schwärmerischen Lieder, dennoch ihr sang nicht mehr allein, ihr brennt nun und bald, ihr Leben, ist keine Spur von euch mehr hier. Der Mann, der euch geschrieben, brennt lange noch, vielleicht in mir, brennt lange noch, vielleicht in mir. Thank you. One of my favorites of the Mozarts. I'm not a big Mozart fan. Shh, don't tell anybody. But that's one of my favorites out of those. So we're gonna keep this moving. So the next song that we have is from 1829. It is an art song. The last one was also an art song. Art song is different from arias. Arias are written as a part of a whole story that is set to music as an opera. Art songs are just poems that have been set to music. So they're a little different than a whole story, backstory, right? This one is also an art song. It is written by Bellini, and it's in the style of bel canto. In 1829, there was this big style, like a lot of embellishments. What you see on the page is definitely not the limit of what is sung usually, but this is a pretty simple, straightforward song, and it's very pretty the way it's written, so I kind of sing it as written. But this is about somebody who is in love with someone, and you're happy if they're happy, and it really, that's love right there. Is like, it makes me happy to see you happy. And I live more, it's like the character, this person in this poem says, I live more inside him than I live inside myself. And so like that happiness that you get for somebody else, whether that be a loved one, a child, whatever it is, that's the essence of love, I think. And so this is about love. you. All right. We have a lot of music to get through today. I'm just warning you all. It's like 14 songs. Some of them are going to fly by. So, I'm trying to be aware of time and trying to keep that in mind as I'm going through the program. So this next song, do we have translations left? If anybody would like a translation or a copy of a translation, Rachel has them, has programs. But if you're good, cool. And if you want one, just wave big so that way we can see you. And thank you, Rachel, for doing this. And thank you for everybody helping me out. Brian Seed on tech and Jonathan with photography. Everybody. Okay, so this next one is really fun. By fun, I mean for me to perform. And so this is written in 1853. We are going in chronological order here. This is in 1853. This is grand opera style. This is written by Verdi. This is from Il Trovatore. And this is a really dramatic aria. Azucena is the character, and she's telling her grown son for the very first time his origin story. And it turns out that Azucena's mother this takes place, it's set in the 1200s, and this is during the Spanish Inquisition. Azucena's mother is burned at the stake for being a witch in front of her. Very traumatic. And so she goes through some stuff, right? And so she watches this terrible, horrific thing happen to her, and her mother's final words are to avenge her, to be avenged. And so Azucena goes to the count, because this is before, countries. So the count is the head of that little village. And she goes to the count's castle, and she kidnaps his son. And she's planning on throwing his son into the flames where her mother just perished. And she gets this delirious fog that comes over her, and she throws a child into the flame. And then she looks next to her and sees the count's son and realizes that she's thrown her own child into the flames in her madness and grief. And so anyway, this is the first time she's telling him this. And he's like, "What? I'm not your kid? Huh?" And it's pretty crazy from there. He ends up falling in love with the same girl as his brother, and he ends up getting into, a confrontation with his brother. His brother has him imprisoned and eventually executed, and is totally unaware that that's his brother the entire time. And at the very end, Azucena is in the back of this mob of people during her adopted son's execution, and at the very end of the opera, she's like, "Finally, my mother has been avenged." She's crazy, right? She's a nut job. Anyway, so this is a fun piece for me to sing, even though the topic is not so sweet. Yeah. And if you were here at the last Rose Garden, you'll recognize this one. This one is one of the fan favorites also, so it's good to put on here. Con
schiarri. Allora contro 400 mi vendica l'amor. Qual dito nego interno in questo cor lascia. Il vio giunzi a rapire il conti, lo trascina qui in mecco, le fiamme ardenti e pronti. E distruggeasi in pianto, io mi sentiva il cuore dell'agnello infranto. Quel decco allegri spirdi, come un sogno parve, la vision ferale di spaventose larve, gli schiarri ed il supplizio, la madre smorda in volto, scalza, discenda, il grido, in noto grido, ascolto mi vendica. La mano convulsa tendo, stringo la vittima, nel fuoco lo trocco, lo sospingo, ci s'affetta delirio, l'odi la scena fuggi, la fiamma sol divampa, e la sorpresa struggi, poi il fuoco eterno e guarda, innanzi a me mi gira, ce ne più conti il figlio, il figlio mio bruciato. Mio figlio bruciato. Sul capo mio le chiame sento drizzarsi ancor, drizzarsi ancor, drizzarsi ancor.
That one's kind of dramatic and fun, even though it's not happy. Anyway, for new people in the room, how are we doing on programs? Do we have any left? No programs. Sorry, I apologize. You can look on with a neighbor if they're open to that, Or if you're on Facebook, I have a link for this also on my Mezzo page. If you're got a couple up there. Oh, if you would like a copy, Brian's seat has a couple extra copies. Awesome. All right, we are going to keep moving along here in styles and songs and music. For those of you who just came in, I'm Angelique. My name is Angelique Alexander, and I would not be here without the support of all these lovely people who have asked me to keep doing this, and it's taken on a life of its own. And thank you so much for being here and supporting me and supporting live music and everything else. So this was written in 1857. This is a romantic style, and this was written by Brahms. So now if you think back to that second piece with Als Louisa Mozart, this comes out of Mozart in terms of musical style. So Brahms is this beautiful composer. He writes this song, and he was in love with his best friend's wife. That didn't bode well for him. He was in love with his best friend's wife, and so I always think of this song as like the song for the ending he wished happened. And here's why. There are three characters. The first character is the narrator. The narrator sets the scene and says it's very dark outside, not like in California. It's very dark outside and there's smoke, there's no light, and out of the distance the narrator sees a couple walking, and it looks like they're about to talk about some very serious, very heavy things with each other. From there, the next character takes over, and it's the male in the couple. And the male in the couple says, if my love brings you dishonor or shame, let us be torn apart as quickly as we came together. Let us be torn apart by rain and wind. And after that, you hear a storm in the accompaniment, which was done by my lovely boyfriend, Jonathan Levin, who plays this for me. And so you hear him do a storm in the accompaniment. And out of the storm comes the quiet and calmness that is woman. And she says, our love cannot be broken. Our love is stronger than iron and steel. Those can be forged and changed by man. But our love, who can change our love? Our love is a forever love. And that's why the song is called The Forever Love, Von Ewige Liebe. So The Forever Love by Brahms. And yeah, hope you enjoy this. Also important to note, this is like around the same time as that last piece. Like this was written very close together, but you'll hear that it is really, really different from what's going on in Italy in terms of composition. So kind of cool.
Schon ist es nun schweiget die Welt. Nirgend noch Licht und nirgend noch Rausch, ja, und die Röchel, sie schweiget nun auch. Kommt aus dem Dorfe der Bursche heraus, gibt das Geleite Geliebte nach Haus. Führt sie am Weidengebüsche vorbei, redet so viel und so mancherlei. Leidest du Schmach und betrübst du dich, leidest du Schmach von Adem und mich, werde die Liebe getrennt so geschwind, schnell wie wir früher wieder einig sind. Scheide
right, thank you. I love that one. That's one of my favorite songs ever. I fell in love with it when I was a sophomore and first learned it in college, and I've never stopped loving it ever since. Um, thinking of songs that I learned a long time ago, this next one is called A Pleasant Rêve. This is in 1879. This is also in the Romantic style, so we're skipping ahead by about 20 years in France. And this is by Gabriel Fauré. And A Pleasant Rêve translates to after a dream, right? That's what that means. And this song, the poem, like I said, a lot of these songs today are poems that have been set to music rather than from a full opera. This one is about somebody who you love, who has, at least my interpretation of this poem is that somebody has passed on and they're visiting during a dream. And the reason I think that is because the end talks about it, like you're spellbound by your image in the beginning. Oh no, did my little thing just disappear? I don't know where it went. I had a little 4-leaf clover that I think just fell out of my... So sad. Oh, there it is. Wait, hold on. Don't want it to blow away. This is my lucky 4-leaf clover. Okay. Put it in a safer spot. Okay. So the part that really makes me feel like it's talking about somebody who's passed on is because at the end it says, "Alas, alas, sad awakening from dreams. I call you, O night, give me back your lies." And that really strikes me as like something that somebody who is no longer with us, and we want them to come back because they only come back in our dreams. And so, yeah, I love this song. I learned this when I was in high school, and I was like, oh, it's too difficult. And so then I went to college and had to learn it again anyway, and so there you go. That's my relationship with this song. So I hope you enjoy this. And this one, I am just gonna... Thank you. All right, we are getting along here. Whew. We're about halfway through, almost. Thank you for bearing with me. So this next one is written the same exact year as the last one, 1879, except that this was written in Russian. This was written by Tchaikovsky, and this is one of my new, very best favorites. It's a new song. It's been on every program so far. It's so cool. And especially considering everything that's going on in Russia and considering on in the Ukraine and thinking about all of the crazy heroes that have come up. This is from Joan of Arc, and speak of a woman who, a young girl who was thrust with such responsibility on her. So in this song, she talks about being absolutely terrified of what's coming and how she's so scared and how she has to face these unknown things. And she talks about her homeland a lot in this song, about how she has to leave this beautiful homeland, these streams that she loves, these valleys that she loves, and she has to leave her. She even talks about her flock of sheep. She has to leave her flock of sheep for murderous flocks of war. That is really heavy. And she's only like 15, right, when this happens? So pretty intense for a 15-year-old. And so, you know, she's facing this really heartbreaking decision that she feels like she really doesn't have a choice in. She's been anointed by God, and this is her mission. And so, yeah, it's become one of my new favorites, and I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. So, underneath, again, in the bold, underneath the Russian is the English. I know it's hard to tell what I'm singing in the Russian versus the English, but you can follow along and, you know, try to figure it out. And you'll hear this is very different from the last one, even though they're the same style, same year, different countries, very different in terms of the songs and the drama, all of it. Sorry. That's the girl that always plays these, and she does her little intro, and I was able to download the audio file, but I didn't get to cut her out.
I hope you enjoy it. It's a very beautiful music.
Oh, yep, she's still talking. Okay, hold on. Okay.
sti labbra fissi sul geni. Das Dallas ne pastino je stada, na pagita kopis, wenn I veni, tak fischli, nas noži la isprani, me novli šono suja ne želani, o Bože, tebe maju akrita srce, a nostra skojet, a nostra dajet, a nostra skojet i stradajet.
Thank you. So that one's a little intense, but it's one of my favorites now. I think it's a really beautiful song. So we are going to keep it moving, and this next one is written just 6 years later in Germany. So we covered French. You heard a little bit of what was going on in French music with the Foray, with the After a Dream, Après un rêve. You heard what's going on in Russia with that last piece. And now let's go to Germany, hear what's happening in German music in 1885. This is late romantic music. This is also another one of my very, very best favorites. I know I say that about all of them, but this one is like, it's so dear to me because I've told this story before, but my grandmother and my grandfather and my little cousin, a lot of people have passed recently in the last like year and a half in my family, and it all happened very close together within 6 months. And so one of the things is when I was growing up, my grandfather, he was a jazz musician. He passed away when I was about 13, and my grandmother kept finding pennies around the house. This is the grandmother that passed away recently, and she kept finding pennies around the house, and my dad read that like that's a sign of people who have passed on will leave you coins. And so my dad was like, oh, it's Dad, he's leaving a sign, he's leaving a sign. And so then when my grandmother passed away, my sister saw these doves that she had never seen before, these doves right outside her window. The first week, every single morning, they were there. And she had never seen them. She's lived in this house for 5 years, never seen the doves. All of a sudden, my grandma passes away, and she's seeing the doves every morning. And she was like, Dad, it's Grandma. And my dad was like, and just the same way my grandmother brushed him off, he brushed my sister off. So this song reminds me of that, because this is All Souls Day. And the person speaking in this is talking about being reunited with their loved one. And the part that really always gets to me is where they say, give me your hand that I may secretly clasp it. And if no one else sees it, it matters not to me. And that thought of like, that's the doves, that's the coins. That's what it is, that sign that you're there and I know that you're there. And it doesn't matter if it means something to somebody else, it means something to me. And this song is so beautiful because at the very end, it's an art song again. This is another poem that's been set to music, and it's not from an opera. And at the very end, it doesn't sound like they're going to have a happy ending, but at the very end, you hear the music, and you know that they've been reunited for that one day. So, some water. It's really hot.
Still auf den Tisch die duftenden Reseden, die letzten roten aus den Wrack herbei, und lass uns wieder von der Liebe reden, wie einst im Gib mir die Hand, dass ich sie heimlich drücke. Und wenn man sieht, mir ist es Schweinerei, gib mir nur einen deiner süßen Blicke, wie es blüht und duftet heut auf jedem Grabe. Ein Tag im Jahr ließ ja den Toten frei. Komm an mein Herz, dass ich dich wieder habe, wie einst im Mai. Wie einst im
Thank you. I love that one. That's like such a beautiful song. So very different from what was going on in the other countries. All right. I really have to get a move on it because we are like definitely at kind of getting at time here. Okay, so the next ones are going to go really quickly, though, in my defense. That's why I like this program looks so long, but I swear these next ones go really quick. All right, so the next one is written in 1891. It's a real standout from the other French music. This is Impressionist music by Debussy, Bossuet. It's a beautiful, like, setting the scene. You just feel it. And he talks about, like, life, enjoy life while it's here for us to enjoy, because before you know it, everything flies by. So enjoy your youth, enjoy the parties and the fun, because just like the water goes to the sea, we go to the grave. And so that's a pretty morbid thought, but, beautifully expressed. And, anyway, so hope you guys enjoy this one. And, yeah, hopefully I can do this nicely. Thanks for laughing at all my corny jokes. Thank you. Whew. All right. These next few go very, very quickly, so I'm just going to stop in between them. They're very short songs. They're in Spanish. It's kind of cool. A little bit of flavor. We're finally getting into the 19th century here, or in the 20th century here, 1900s, 1916. This is written in 1916. This is neoclassical, and it's in the Castilian style specifically, not the you guys, however I say that, Antilles, whatever. What? Andalusia. Yeah, it's not in that style. It's in the Castilian style. So that's why it's got that kind of like a flamenco flavor. And this first one is really fun. And these accompaniments are all done by my lovely partner, Jonathan Levin, who did all of them for me. Thank you so much, because I'm a pain in his butt. And he hadn't practiced them in a while, and I was like, kind of need them. And he was like, okay, all right, I'll get them done. All right. The first one is about a shop owner who comes in a fabric store and sees like a stain on their expensive fabric. And you can imagine the emergency that causes to see a stain on a fabric. So that's exactly what this song basically says. So.
Al paño fino en la tienda, al paño fino en la tienda, una mancha le cayó, una mancha le cayó. Por menos precio se vende, por menos precio se vende, porque perdió su valor, porque perdió su valor. Ay.
Cute little short song. Cool, thanks. This next one is really, really beautiful. Oh, stunning. It's we skipped ahead to number 3 in the song set. So number 3 is about somebody who's grieving and goes to seek solace from a tree. And when they go to seek solace from the tree, instead of, making them feel better, just cries with them. And it's so beautiful because you can hear it while he's playing it. You can hear the tree crying. And my brother-in-law is from El Salvador, and when he heard the poem and then he heard the song that went with this, he was like, oh, you can hear it. You can hear the tree. And I was like, yeah, you can. So it's really, I hope you guys like this one. This is the one that after I listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm so excited to do that set after Jonathan had already told me that I was going to have to do it. So, yeah.
Por vez si me consuelo
Thank you. All right. This next one is about a couple who nobody even knows that like they don't talk to each other a lot in person, like in public, and so people don't know that they're together. But she says, like, if anybody talked to either one of our hearts, they would know that we are madly in love and we are together. And I'm going to say goodbye to you for now. Goodbye to your house. Goodbye to your windows. And your disapproving mother. Goodbye. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Even though your mother disapproves. And yeah, so kind of cute and fun and light after that sad last song. So, yeah.
Dicen que no nos queremos. Dicen que no nos queremos. Porque no nos ven hablar. A tu corazón el mío se lo pueden frecuentar. Dicen que no nos queremos porque no nos ven Ya me despido de ti. Ya me despido de ti. De tu casa y tu ventana. Y aunque no quiera tu madre, adiós, nena, hasta mañana. Adiós, nena, hasta mañana. Ya me despido de ti. Aunque no quiera tu madre.
I like that one. Thank you. We are getting very close to the end. Woo! Okay. All right. So my name is Angelique Alexander. This has been so much fun. Thank you for sticking with me and hanging out. And I really appreciate you all being here. And thanks for everybody back at home watching on the live stream. And hopefully we got rid of the static. I don't know if that worked, but whatever. So this next one is the last one in that set. It's a set of 7 songs, but I'm only doing 4 of them today. This last one is about real heartbreak, and this person is obviously like very, very heartbroken. Can't get through a sentence. Heartbroken. Like, I guardo un eye. Guardo una mi pecho. Like she can't like even speak. She's just like every time that she tries to, she starts saying I. That if you see it in the translation, every time there's an I, it's because it's pain. It's like real heartbreak. Anyway, this one was the hardest one. Jonathan had to stay up a lot of hours teaching me how to do it because it's really hard counting. And yeah, it was really tricky. But anyway, fun. Thank you. All right. Two more. Okay. So, this next one, speaking of the namesake, Angelique, if you should like to do so, this is completely free. And if you would like to put something in my metaphorical tip jar or in my real tip jar, I would not be opposed to that at the end of the concert. Feel free to come up and say hello. And even if you would like to just stay in touch, forget about the tip. Even if you just want to stay in touch with me, I have business cards with me, so that way we can stay in touch and you can know about when the next one is. So this next song is named Angelique, just like me. Ha! Funny how that works. That's why I picked it. I picked a whole set of music without ever hearing it once because I was like, oh, it's got my name. It must be good, right? Yeah, well, if you look at the poem, it's not quite the ode to me that I was hoping. And my boyfriend Jonathan thought it would be really funny if we did it for a concert because, so here's the words. Have you seen Angelique, what way she went? A white robe she wore, a flickering light near spent, her pale hand bore. Have you seen Angelique? Will she know the place dead feet must find? The grave cloth on her face to make her blind. Have you seen Angelique? At night I hear her moan and I shiver in my bed. She wanders all alone. She cannot find the dead. Not quite what I was hoping for in terms of a song about me, but whatever. It's my name. This was written in 1996. This is the most modern of our songs today. So this is taking us all the way into the 20th century, deep into modern music. And so I hope you guys like this one. I actually like it, even though it's really high and the poem is not my best favorite. Yeah. This accompaniment is also by Jonathan Levin. Thank goodness, because there is definitely nowhere else that I would find it.
Have you seen Angelique, what way she went? A white robe she wore. shiver in my bed. She wanders all alone. She cannot find the dead.
So it's a bit of a crazy tune. All right, last one. So this one is, we're taking it backwards in time. I know we've been going in chronological order this whole time in terms of composition dates, but this one I decided it was worth going back in time for. We didn't really do any Verismo music, and so this is the Verismo piece, and it's also, for those of you who have been to the Rose Garden before, I usually promise one soprano aria. I'm a mezzo soprano. I'm a lower voice, but I usually do one soprano aria because that's like the ones that everybody knows. And so this one is one of my absolute favorites of the soprano arias. I think it took me like, I don't know, an hour to learn it because I'd already listened to it like a bajillion times by the time I actually set my like goal to learn it. And I learned it for the Rose Garden actually because that's what started me learning these. This is by Puccini. This is from La Boheme. This is an opera song, so this is an aria. And so Mimi, if you've seen Rent is based on La Boheme, but Mimi has tuberculosis, and she's kind of cooped up in her house, and she's not really allowed out ever, and she makes these little paper mache flowers, and she talks about how, like, they call her Mimi, but she doesn't really know why. Her name is Lucia, but everybody calls her Mimi. And she says, you know, like, my story is brief. I don't really have a lot to say. I just stay inside most of the time. And I have this cute little place, like, you know, it's in the top floor. And the best part about my room is that, like, I get to see the first kiss of spring, the first scent of flowers, the first bloom is mine. And so she talks about that, and she talks about how it's so important for her to see those things. And she says, but the flowers that I make, they have no smell. So other than that, there's nothing really I can say about myself. I'm just your neighbor that's come out this time to bother you. Sorry, bye. And so it's a cute little song, and I hope you guys like it. It's one of my favorites. I know I say that about everything. But the good thing about doing the Rose Garden is it's my program. I get to put things that I like on it. So that's why everything that I put on here is something I like.
persona che la vien fuori d'or importunare.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for everybody that came here, the Alley people, the Martunis people, the returning Rose Garden people, all the friends. Thank you so much for being here. And I do have one more if you guys want, if you guys are up for it. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit like, it's been a long, yeah. I'm going to call up a friend of mine. I never do this. This is the first time I've ever done this. I'm going to call up a friend of mine to sing a song with me. We sing this frequently at the Alley. Ramiro, could you come up? My friend Ramiro is in town from Arizona. He's never here, so this is a big deal when he's in town. This is the first one that he's been to since it started, so this is very exciting. So our friend Brian C. is a wonderful piano player, and he always plays, he indulges us and plays this for us at the Alley just up the street on Grand. And so we're going to do a little tune, not classical. It's going to be a little musical theater for any of our friends from across the bridge. And you guys will recognize it. It's a good finale song. Yeah, it is. Yep, and we're going to have to share a mic. So.
Okay, we'll do it.
Okay, all right.
Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, clean as the morning. I know things are bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you with sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early, Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers, me I'd say sure. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. He don't give me orders, he don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me sweet understanding. Seymour's my
Tell me this feeling will last till forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening for losers like I've been. It's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour, be purified. Suddenly Seymour,
Yes, you can
Thank you, everyone, for being here and for bearing with us for this long concert. Thank you so much. Hope you had a good time. If you'd like to stay in touch, I promise I don't bite. Say hello, and thank you. All right. Next one is August 28th. I don't know what the theme. Oh, yeah, I do know what the theme is. Carmen.